If you believe for 1 minute that you are not, why do we allow our politicians to make laws that perpetuate a society of victims? Hey, you're not going to pull that one here.
Stop talking.
Everything you just said is a lie. You're making excuses for we don't have the luxury to assume someone else is going to say what we're thinking. It's time to walk it like you talk it. People, when will we learn? Because you're not doing anything. Enough is enough. Okay, here we are. Another week. Talk is cheap. Hello, Melissa.
Hello, Jason.
How are you?
I'm excellent.
How has your week been going?
I've had an amazingly awesome week.
Really?
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah, that's been really good.
I love that you have discovered Skype.
Me too.
So has Skype created Max Val?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
What is the greatest value that you have received by using Skype?
Connection.
Connection to just people or things?
To people.
Furniture?
No, not so much furniture, no.
People in this country?
Some people in this country.
And abroad?
Yes.
Oh, you're so international now. Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, I knew that Skype was worth using because Oprah uses it.
If it's good enough for Oprah, it's good enough for me.
So true. So true. So what our audience doesn't realize is that we have friend of the show, Sam West, in studio with us. You will not be able to hear him, interact with him, or see him in any way. But he is, in fact, here.
He's like a ghost.
Melissa, you can see him. It's not just me.
No. What?
You don't know who I'm talking about? Over there in the corner. Don't you see a guy?
The handsome young man?
Yes.
Okay, maybe I see it.
All right, good.
But I kind of see him all the time.
Okay, but look.
He's always there.
There is a handsome young man always there in the corner of my room. Yes. So, okay, Melissa, this is the deal. We're going to talk about something again.
So there's a deal, right?
There is a deal. Okay. There's a price to pay to be in the studio today because we're going to talk about something.
Of you being late?
No.
Okay.
Nothing to do with me being late, which never happened. No, it never happened.
Okay.
Okay? So, we're going to talk about the fact that I met a kind of an incredible woman yesterday.
Okay.
Okay? This Persian Iranian national who's living here. Mm-hmm. Now, first thing I find interesting. Now, when I lived in Los Angeles, I worked for a gentleman who was Persian, Iranian. And I always...
So are those two different things?
No, those are the same thing. That's what I was going to tell you, is that anytime there's an Iranian, it's been my experience, here in the United States, and you ask them where they're from, they will always say Persia. Because where would you rather they be from? Iran.
Persia sounds beautiful.
It does. It's like the sound a cat makes.
Yeah, it sounds comfortable.
Yes, Persia. It sounds exotic and beautiful. And I get that that's really the energy when people say that. That's what they want us to experience. Huh. So this gal from Persia, very much not insane Iran, but Persia. And she is a hairstylist.
Okay.
She was actually painting blue in my hair. So I was talking to her, and she was talking to me about her experience of moving here and wanting to create a life for herself and for her daughters. She moved here 4 years ago. Her husband moved here 2 years ago. And it was interesting to hear her talk about her life.
How old is she?
I would say probably early 40s.
Okay.
But I'm not a good judge of age. I mean, so you're like 37, 100 years old.
Okay.
Okay.
That I get.
Yes, but in reality, you're like 28, 29, maybe 30.
Okay.
Maybe 31, possibly 32.
Okay.
Could be 25.
Okay.
Or 26.
Somewhere
Somewhere in there.
Yes.
Okay. So she was talking to me about how when she first moved here, it was exciting. Her energy drove her to go to hair school, to get her kids into a great school, to support them, empower them, to live truly the American dream. And then her husband came over from Iran, and it's like her whole energy having this conversation shifts.
Your energy just shifted, as you said, and then her husband comes over. It's like, dun, dun, dun.
Right, because basically how she was describing was in her country, the women are very much in charge of the household being successfully run and all these elements. And her experience of her husband is that he just sits back and wants her to do everything here in the United States, that he doesn't have any ambition, he doesn't have any drive to create anything in his life. He basically is just living off of her passion.
He doesn't work or anything?
I don't even care. I didn't care enough to ask because I was so fascinated by her using words like, he's living off of my passion. He doesn't have any drive to create anything for himself. And she's sitting here talking to me about how she wants to open a coffee shop, how she would love to have her own salon. She's just so entrepreneurial, so driven. And as I was hearing her talk about this, and she was talking about kind of the difficult decision that she really realizes maybe it doesn't serve to be in relationship with her husband. And to hear her talk about that, she said, and I love him. He's been my best friend. We've known each other for 30 years and all these things. But I know that because he's in relationship with me, he's no one in himself. He's not anything as an individual. He lives everything through me. And so I was listening to that, and she was talking about how people have told her she has to just, move on and create a different relationship. And, and she said, and my biggest concern is what I'm teaching my daughters about what a relationship looks like. And what it means to be.
Bravo.
I know. This woman was amazing. And her energy was infectious. She was truly self-mastery of her life. And it was so great to interact with her and experience her and have this conversation and have her share with me her breakthroughs about her relationship and her children, what have you. And so it got me thinking. And I know it seems like it's logical to talk about this woman and her relationship and things like that. But what actually rung with me was when she was talking about what she's teaching her daughters. And the example she sets as a woman for her children, for her daughters specifically. And that kind of got me thinking, because here's a woman who... she's not waking up every day wanting to make a mark in history. She's not wanting to be famous. She's not wanting to do anything other than live her passion and give an example to her daughter so that her daughters can go and create value. Okay. So then that got me thinking. I am aware of women, and I'm going to say women, but really people in general, but women who have, just by being passionate in their lives, have change the world. Not because they woke up in the morning to change the world. It's a result of them living passionately and wanting to do their part in their moment. Like what comes to mind is Amelia Earhart. Okay? Here's a woman who passionate about flying, broke all sorts of records, and ultimately flying around the world disappears. Okay, no one knows where she is. And this woman and the example and the passion that she lived her life has gone on to inspire. She's considered one of the most influential women in all of history. There's a new movie about her with, I think, Hilary Swank.
Yes, it is.
Okay, and so here's a woman who probably didn't wake up to be known and recognized 50 years later, 60, 70 years later, just was being her passion. And inspired women all over to take life differently, to take on life differently. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely.
So then I went, okay, well, let's go even further back. Let's go back to the founding of the United States, the beginning of it all. And everyone talks about the founding fathers and all these guys who sat around in a room and concocted the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, all those things. I found some information about, I don't know if you know anything about Abigail Adams.
Okay.
What do you know about her?
She was the president's wife.
Okay, good. Well, I printed some things up.
And a beautiful blonde.
Yes. From a reputable source, the Wikipedia. Okay, where everything is reliable. And basically what jumped out at me was that here's a woman in 1776 who was already fighting for women's rights and the abolishment of slavery. In 1776. Now, keep in mind, slavery was all the rage all the way well into the 1800s.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so all the way back at the birth of our nation, here was a woman, what I would say pretty well